Hello, Beauty News family. Welcome to a special video. Today we are here with Darren Clark, the owner and founder of Glyco Skincare. Kat and I are both big fans.
We are big fans.
Yeah. And we've got Darren here today to do basically a skincare Q&A. So we shout out to you guys in a recent episode of Beauty News. Let us know your skincare questions. And today we're basically going to take you through the fundamentals of skincare.
Yeah, with a little bit of in-depth talk and then like recommendations for routines. We will have timestamps down below, so if you want to skip back and forwards, you can do that. We have had a massive list of things to talk about, and we were just discussing before, probably don't have time to go through every single issue, because Darren was pointing out that to do it justice, you can't just give one word answer. So we might have to...
We might be back for round 2, round 3, round 4.
We might make it a monthly thing. No,
no.
Close. But do you want to give a bit of background about your experience?
Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming, Darren.
I've been in the industry professionally since about 2006, and I started by doing treatments at home, and then I turned that business into an online store, and I had the online business for 8 years. And then I sold it 3 years ago to then pursue my own skincare line.
Which is awesome. Life goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But prior to that, I was very much a skincare junkie since I was 17.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time. It's a bit funny, but we won't have time today.
Well, you might have to get onto that one day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much.
But that's also a big thing, sort of getting into skincare when you were 17. Like, I think these days with the internet and so much information online, a lot of people who are 17 might think they're like into skincare, and they might very well be. But back when we were 17, different story.
Absolutely.
It's so hard to be a skincare junkie at 17 because you literally have to go blind into a store and hope for the best.
That's exactly... Well, that was my experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but on this particular day, I just felt the need to go to a department store and buy skincare out of the blue.
Yeah.
And that then set the pathway for a passion that I never knew existed.
Yeah. Meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
But in those days as well, Kat, we didn't have a lot of choice with skincare.
Yeah,
so
I know.
we trusted the person behind the counter that they were giving us the right information as well.
Yeah, you had to.
There was no internet to search for reviews or...
No, you couldn't even use a smartphone in store to search for
There was
reviews.
no Dr. Google.
No, there was no Dr. Google.
And now look at it,
no.
Everything's online. So.
Everything's online. I walk around the store with my phone being like, what do people think of that?
Yeah.
You couldn't
for
do that.
reviews.
Yeah,
reviews are so powerful. But information is really interesting, because I think now with information online being so contradictory as well, that we're guided in different directions. We don't know who to believe, and it'll be interesting to see how some of the answers come out and questions and answers come out today, as to because this is really going to be about my experience, my knowledge, and sharing that. And through having my previous online business, we did have a store, and I've helped thousands of men and women improve on their skin,
which is
through good skincare and good decisions. So.
Yeah,
let's see
and the reason why we were happy to have you on and excited for this chat is because we know that you're you know bullshit with skincare. So you hear so many reps that are like, you have to do this and this and this and this, and you're like, do I? Whereas
really?
Having a chat to you is great, because you can go, okay, well, you probably should be doing that, but you really don't need to. And I think realistic advice is often better than... it's good to know the ideal, but to know what you can realistically do, I think, is more important than knowing the exact perfect thing. I know I should go to the gym every day, and hey, we shouldn't smoke, and we shouldn't be drinking this.
Exactly.
But in people's realistic lifestyles, what can you feasibly do? And I think hopefully it's a good chat today.
Yeah,
that's what endeared you so much to me. I was just like, this is a person who understands that there are the ideals, and then there is the realistic. And it's about finding that happy medium. And sometimes you can take someone's realistic a little bit closer to ideal just by encouraging them. But today we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of all the goodies that go on the face.
Yeah.
And look after it.
First one, let's start from the absolute start. Do you need a skincare routine?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, for a number of reasons. As we get older, our skin depletes certain nutrients
Yeah.
and things tend to slow down. But we're also challenged from an environmental perspective where, UV damage causes premature aging, so we need to protect our skin from the sun to reduce damage, pigmentation and so forth. But also, it's just the pollution in the air as well. There's so many lifestyle factors and choices that we make that directly impact our skin, and internally from a diet perspective as well. It's not like the old days where mum just, all her beautiful skin was based just on genetics. And using
a bit of olive oil or something.
Exactly. So these days we're confronted with a lot more challenges. So it's really important that we use effective skincare on a daily basis to look after and preserve our skin. And I always say this to everyone: prevention is a hell of a lot easier than correction.
And that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Also, would you say that if you look at, say, 100 years ago, people weren't living as long, whereas we are living longer and wanting to maintain our looks for a long... And if you can, why not?
Why not?
That's exactly right. So that's why I think it's really important that we do start to use skincare from a young age, and that we do or be mindful of the things that cause us to age prematurely, because we all want to age gracefully. Not everyone wants to be Botox to the nines. But we want to be comfortable in our own skin, and you can always tell by looking at I can always tell looking at someone's skin, even if they've got lines and wrinkles, how healthy their skin is, and the fact that they don't look their real age. And I think that's what most people want.
And even like if you've got any skin issues, if you're having a bad skin day, it actually makes you feel like...
It does.
We all have bad skin days.
Yeah, it makes you feel like absolute
Kat
garbage.
and I are both complaining about our breakouts today.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing. It happens.
And it does. It's like wearing uncomfortable underpants. You have a bad day.
Or uncomfortable shoes.
Horrible day.
Absolutely.
Day's gone. Disappointment.
So definitely need skincare in our lives and comfortable shoes and underpants.
That's true.
Right.
That is a take-home message.
Yeah, you learn that in your 30s, big time.
You do.
Okay, let's organically move on to when should you start using skincare? Because it's a question that a lot of people have wanted to know.
I always say, look, mid sort of teens to start. So 15. I mean, when the hormones start playing havoc on our body and we start getting the hormonal breakouts and acne, we want to start
treating them.
We want to start. That's right. We want to look at skincare. We want to start treating the situation to try and control it, which is the best thing we can do. And we're talking this morning about even younger or parents looking at getting skincare starter for children even under
10 or something.
Which is it's a little bit young. Personally,
do you think it's necessary at all unless they have a specific skin concern?
I would definitely say yes to that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think there's any need to be putting someone at the age of 10 through all these ingredients, chemical toxins, whatever, that's used to make the products in such a young developing skin.
Unless they absolutely need it.
Absolutely, that's right.
Or going out in the sun.
Sunscreen.
And most sunscreens are formulated to be used after 6 months of age. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be putting sunscreen
on your child
when they're going out and about. Absolutely.
Okay, a big question that a lot of people had was, do you have to invest in skincare? Like, is more expensive better than cheaper?
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah.
So you can find very well formulated products, great skincare regimes in various price ranges. From drugstores or pharmacies right through to expensive. When you make a product, the price that comes into consideration is the cost of the ingredients, the manufacturing plant, the packaging, the advertising, the marketing, and so forth. And I remember years ago, I did a bit of research on, when you buy those, Vogue or any of those lovely magazines, Harper's, whatever, and the first 10 pages of these glamorous ads in there, right? Well, they don't come for free.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
No.
So brands cost those into their marketing budget, and the consumer at the end of the day is paying for that. So the packaging, everything. But then you, as a brand, then you decide what market you're going for as well, because some people love the prestigeness of certain brands. And you wouldn't get that if you're just going to, sell a product without a box, for example. Et cetera, et cetera. So no, it doesn't. It's all about the formulation.
Yeah, but how do you, if you aren't aware of what a good formulation is, what should you? Is it like fragrances or certain ingredients that you should avoid, or any key signs where you're like, okay, they're charging me just for
that's
fancy
right.
packaging?
Well, my rule of thumb, Kat, is with an ingredient list. And look, it's really hard because we're sort of left to our devices these days. There's some really good websites that review skincare products that people can research, but ultimately really take into account the first half of the ingredient list. Go online and sort of, because the chemical names, we don't understand what they are sometimes. So go online, Google them, find out what it is. But you really want to make sure that the first half of the ingredient list is the most important, because often everything after that is, under 0.5%. And it's in there for whatever reason. It could be to mask the smell of the ingredients, the raw ingredients. It could be to add scent to the product. It could be a preservative, or etc. or colour. That's right. So research. Reviews are really good. But at the end of the day, a skincare product, if it works for you, then it works for you. That's great. That's what you want.
One thing that I think is interesting about your brand, and okay, this wasn't supposed to be about his brand, but I'm interested in your brand, is that you have a claim that if you consistently use your products in a skincare routine, and you're in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, you can see like a huge difference in your skin after, what was it, a month or 6 weeks of use?
It was 8 weeks. The trial.
8 weeks of use. So, but a lot of brands, if you go to, let's say, like Clinique or something, they wouldn't have a similar claim because I don't think they'd be able to back it up.
Well, I'm quite fortunate in the fact that our dermatologist is linked and works with some universities in the States. So I was able to get clinical trials on my products in addition to doing an 8-week trial with some ladies in Brisbane. And what I wanted to do with that was, okay, so we use the word cosmeceutical, which is actually a made-up word, by the way, so for those that don't know. But what we're essentially saying with cosmeceutical products is that they've got high level of active ingredients to make a difference, in the skin, and they go deeper and all that sort of stuff. I tend to use more the word medical grade. It's the same sort of thing, but it's got claim to it, where cosmeceutical, as I said, is a made-up name. So in regards to with Glyco and our formulations, we are about age prevention and correction, and that's why we have a range of products and moisturisers, for example, to suit different stages of life. But what's really important is when you get to the point where you really need to make a big difference, because a lot of, I'm sorry to say this, but I've experienced a lot of women in particular who haven't looked after their skin. They get into their 40s and then they knock on my door and say, oh my God. Now it's really hard to correct, but we can do certain things in our daily skincare regime to maximise the benefits, and to achieve that, we need to touch on every element of the skin that is affected by aging. So that's why I designed Ritual RX on my website, and that's basically saying, okay, if you want the best optimum regime for your skin to improve,
look at all of your issues.
You're going to have to do this. If you go to a doctor and there's something wrong with you and they say you need to do this, and this, you're going to do it.
You have to quit smoking. You have to go to the gym.
Exactly.
You have to eat better. You have to take this medication.
That's
you have to do it.
And that's not for, Ritual RX is not for everyone. It's not, I'm not saying, I don't want everyone to be buying a 5-step, regime.
And it's not necessary for everyone.
That's right.
But there are some people with serious issues who need to go through that too.
And collectively, those results were achieved by following the Ritual RX.
Right.
And those women that were selected, by the way, they had to have been using cosmeceutical skincare previously because I wanted to see how much further we can improve their skin in only 8 weeks. So that was the challenge.
Wow.
That's good. No, that's where I think it's a hard for people with price points, because there are some brands out there that have a lot of active ingredients and, like you're saying, sort of medical grade and actually do have an effect on the skin.
Yep.
And then it's littered amongst all these other brands that are higher end skincare brands, but
and
it's
they're
just
like,
this smells nice.
Yeah.
Here's
It's in a
our
fancy
$800
jar.
face cream.
But it's hard to tell which is. It's like as a consumer, it's hard to know where do I start? Where do I invest?
Do you know, in my skin addiction days, I would have spent $800 to get that caviar
Sometimes,
cream.
But
I personally knew that it's not necessarily going to make a lot of difference to my skin.
But that's the thing.
Experience.
You walk past Lemire when you're getting into your 30s, or
you're like,
even
this is
if
gonna
you
be the
maybe
miracle
younger,
cream.
and you're like, maybe that will do amazing things for me. Maybe I should buy that. And it's hard, isn't it? It is.
Look, marketing, we tread
they
a very
getcha.
fine line on marketing because we want our products to sell.
Yeah.
So, often you see 97% of women did this, that, and the other. And, unless there's clinical studies on a product or the ingredients, then, because I know for a fact that in Europe, they've actually set up these laboratories that do testing for skincare companies.
Mm-hmm.
These are paid. So I could say to them, right, I want to get not clinical studies, I want to get a study done on this particular serum. Mm-hmm. They will ask me, what results do you want to see?
Oh, really?
And then they target their survey to
manipulate
the users to ask them, did you see an improvement to this? Did you but let's not forget, the first thing they have to do is they have to clean their skin with alcohol, so their skin's always starts off dry and
anything
dehydrated.
on it is going to be better.
I could spritz water and it's an improvement to hydration. So
interesting.
So there's a difference between that type of study, those types of studies versus clinical.
So if we are looking for studies done on products, we should be looking for ones that say clinical study.
Clinical studies, exactly.
Or clinical trials,
Or clinical trials. Yeah. So we've had clinical studies done on some of our products and ingredients, but we've done a trial that's non-clinical on the 4 women in Brisbane for 8 weeks. So that's the bit of a difference. One's just a trial.
Yes,
And one's actually clinical studies. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's get one thing really clear about skincare. Over-the-counter skincare, so skincare that you can, not necessarily go to a department store, but anything you can buy online or through a skincare clinic or anything like that, we call that over-the-counter products.
Yep.
And no over-the-counter product is going to completely get rid of a wrinkle. So let's be clear on that.
Yeah.
Because anything that's going to molecularly change the structure of the skin is going to be considered a drug or a medicine.
Okay.
And that's where your prescription vitamin A comes in that we're going to talk about later. And the reason why it's on prescription.
Yeah. So it's all going to be like... It's all topical stuff. It's all going to just help to hydrate, smooth,
protect.
Yeah.
That's
no
right.
miracles.
We can do correction to a point.
Yeah.
We can minimise, lines and wrinkles.
Yeah.
We can sort of plump and firm the skin a little bit. But hey, we're talking skincare, not surgery.
Yeah,
or
that's
Botox.
true.
Yeah,
that's very true. And
people-
there's a big difference
There
between
is absolutely.
there's a big
injectables
difference
and
between
topicals.
that.
And people need to be realistic about that fact that it is skincare.
Because a lot of people also want. I know we're just going in
We are
depth about
tangent.
things, but whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of people, want to know what can they use that will mimic the effect of Botox, but nothing will, because Botox goes into the muscle.
That's exactly right. So when we use muscle relaxant ingredients, what we're doing is trying to mimic. I say trying because we can't. There is nothing that can replicate Botox injections or injectables, I should say. But there are certain ingredients that also have clinical studies to show that they can reduce the depth of wrinkles through relaxing the muscles or swelling the muscles out.
Okay.
All right. So, but the good thing about those products is that if you do have Botox, they tend to prolong the need to go back. Yeah. So.
Hook us up.
Well, it's interesting.
You're going to have to write a list before you leave because Kat and I are going shopping.
Well,
we're in the city. Why not?
It's interesting you asked that question because it wasn't one that we spoke about today.
No, it wasn't. But it wasn't. Yeah.
I'm working on a line correcting serum, and it is based on that Exactly.
that particular
okay,
ingredient.
good.
Okay.
You're a good person to know.
Because I will say this, I am not anti-injectables.
Neither am
I think
I.
they
Since
can
we've
be, we
had
get them,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they can be great for people who are trying to combat that sort of stuff. But it's very, very depressing when it starts to wear off and you're like, oh God, I've got to spend that money again.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Save
I
and
think,
then
yeah,
spend, yeah.
yeah.
So they're really effective at doing that.
Okay.
But wait and see.
Okay, good.
Good.
We will wait and see.
What is worth splurging on and what's worth saving
So
on?
if you're on a budget, but you can go, okay, I can buy 1 or 2 hero products.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Should you put your money?
Serums.
Serums, yeah.
Serums and moisturisers. I think there's nothing worse than putting on a moisturiser that feels uncomfortable. It goes back to the whole knicker thing we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your underpants are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and during the day you want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I always suggest a slightly heavier night cream for that nighttime replenishment. And on that note of nighttime, some brands say that your skin does all this repairing at night. So I don't know I never know what time my body thinks it's time to convert to the nighttime mode.
Yeah.
We go into a restful state, absolutely, and we're not disrupted by, stress
Light.
and light environment,
Yeah.
etc. So yes, it is a great time for the skin to
like,
absorb those
and
nutrients.
recuperate and do
That's
its thing.
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
it's not like it goes, oh, it's 6 p.m, I'm going to
I'm
bed
going to restore now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to restore,
Yeah.
That's my opinion
Yeah.
about that. And it's the same when we talk about, eye creams. I know that question's coming up later.
Yeah.
But going back to splurging, for me, I like to make sure that my serum is a very good, well-formulated serum that's going to do what I need it to do.
Yeah.
And the moisturiser needs to be really comfortable. I could probably compromise on my cleanser.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because they are the products that stay on the
that's
skin
what I was
the
gonna ask.
longest?
Leave-on
and,
products.
And anything that you wash off could be a little bit more on the affordable side?
Yeah, that's right. But remember, we're going back to that thing of, is more expensive better?
Yes.
And it's not.
It's not.
But if you're
Yeah.
going to splurge on something, I would splurge on a better serum
The things-
or a more expensive serum
Yeah.
or moisturiser.
Yeah.
That
The
would be
things that
my
will stay on
preference.
your skin
Leave-on
longer.
products,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a myth that I hear often, and I hear to this very day. Is it best to pick and choose products from different brands, or do you just have to listen to what the rep's saying or the person working at the counter, a whole skincare routine from one brand, because they work together better? It's a better deal. What's the go?
Kat, in our industry, it's really, we'd like it to be black and white.
Yeah.
It's not black and white.
Yeah.
So the one of the motivating reasons why I started my online business was the fact that I wanted people to have choice, because in those days you'd walk into a department store, you approach whatever counter you're gravitated to that attracts you, and you speak to that person whose salary is half paid by the department store and the brand. They have targets to hit. And
bonuses,
bonuses
if they earn a certain
achieve
amount.
certain sales targets. So even though we know, for example, that half the department store is owned by L'Oreal and the other half is owned by Estee Lauder, they, even if that person knows that there's a better product on a different counter that's owned by them, Clinique or whatever, they're not necessarily going to send you over there.
Because they're not getting the target.
They're probably a little bit, I think these days it's a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
I actually don't think any of them are hitting targets with the online world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not like it's not clear cut as it used to be. So the old days, yes, we were led to believe that we needed to use all the products to get the results, otherwise it wouldn't work. So one of the motivating reasons why I started my online store was to give people unbiased choice. And I can honestly say that it was very rare that someone would walk out with a complete skincare regime from one brand. It hardly ever happened, because if there's a better cleanser for you to use from one brand, but I feel that the serum is going to benefit your skin more from another, then why wouldn't I sell you those products? The only time that I would say that you may need to use a particular brand completely, as far as the skincare regime goes, is if you've got a skin condition. Sometimes we formulate products to work in harmony together. So, for example, I remember years ago we used to have a French brand that was a clinic brand in our online business. They had a phenomenal skincare range for rosacea. So I wouldn't send that person over to a different brand when I know that the serum and the moisturiser and even the cleanser is going to work in harmony
together.
Because they've got a bit of a condition that they want to get a result with. If you don't have a specific skin concern that needs to be treated in that manner, then no, there's absolutely no reason why you can't integrate products.
Scented products, yay or nay?
it should be. Look, even
Because this is an experience thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Look,
I think I know what you're going to say.
Which say it.
Okay, so as I said before, a lot of the ingredients, raw ingredients, do smell, and they're not nice
Bad.
smells. They
Yeah,
can be
they
quite
stink.
pongy, right?
Yeah.
So even fragrance-free brands still need to put some sort of neutralizer in there to neutralize that smell. Now, when we talk about fragrance, the most important thing is that it's right at the end of the list, of the ingredient list. So that way it's, under 0.5%, just to mask the smell and to give it a scent. I like scented products.
Yeah, I like them too.
What I don't want is something that smells like perfume.
Yes.
Like I've literally just fragranced my
Yeah.
And you'll
Or
see,
you can smell it hours later.
that it lingers.
Yeah.
And look, in all honesty, synthetic fragrances aren't good for skin. That's why I'm saying that, make sure it's right at the end of the list in such a minute amount. That would be my number one thing to watch out for.
Yeah.
But some brands, unfortunately, put them way up in the list. And that's what you don't want.
Yeah.
You're not buying fragrance.
Yeah.
And we are creature by habits. When we go to a store and we put on a cream, we always do this. We're not buying fragrance, but we still want to make sure that
It smells nice.
yeah, exactly, and that we can put up with that scent.
Yeah.
So, look, it's one of those things. It's part and parcel.
Yeah. Be mindful.
Being mindful.
Yeah.
That's right. And you're not buying it for the scent. You're buying it for what it's meant to do for the skin, how it's going to benefit your skin.
But if you don't have the experience that you like, you're not going to use it. So
No, that's right.
You need,
and
need
that's
balance.
And that's a good point, Kat, because with Glyco, I wanted to have, because women love the whole sensory experience and the textures.
Yeah.
And I do as well.
Yeah.
And so with Glyco, it was about bringing that into a very concentrated medical grade brand. And I think I've accomplished that. There are some ingredients where you just can't add fragrance or anything. Salicylic acid based products is something, where you can't. So, maybe you can, but you've got to be careful you don't dilute the ingredient or negate its effectiveness. So,
and at the end of the day, if you're buying active skincare, you're buying it so it's active.
That's right.
You don't want to negate the
effectiveness of the ingredients.
That's right.
And that's where packaging is important.
Yeah. Because that's like see-through packaging can degrade certain ingredients.
Keeping the light out,
jars.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing with jars is, air does, when you open up a jar of products, the air can reduce the effectiveness of the ingredients or the activeness of the ingredients. So we do use airless jars, except for
a good airless pump.
Yeah, except for two products because the cream's too thick.
Yeah.
So that's
your scrub as well.
And the scrub,
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to come out of anything.
Yeah.
It could go into a tube, I suppose. We could look at that, but it's quite. Our scrub is quite gritty because it's designed to replicate a microdermabrasion in it. That's right. So it's the crystals.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get on to, I think, like the more in-depth stuff, we're just talking about eye cream. Do you need an eye cream, or is a moisturiser near your eyes good enough?
Fine. No, you don't need it. Don't need an eye cream.
You don't need an eye cream.
I've always said to people, because again, the skin is the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop and then change.
Yeah.
Right. But we don't have the same density around the eye
thinner.
area.
Yeah.
It is a thinner space. So whatever moisturiser you're using on your face is generally fine to use around the eye area. So when we're talking application, though, with eye products, we really just want to follow the inside of the orbital bone under the brow and, through the corner there. That's where the application. Now, through gravity,
it'll move.
It will, We've got no lipid function on our eyelids, so we don't want to overload it. And this is where media problems come into it. People using products that are too rich, or they're putting too much on, and it's fatty deposits that you know what I mean? So
there was a lot of questions that we had about Milia.
Would
you say like more of a gel product would be better than a cream?
Yeah, I mean, I like eye creams that are eye gels because I think of those also as more of a serum type product. And then my moisturiser.
And they're a bit more hydrating around the fine lines.
They are, but on that note of eye products, as long as your night cream, whatever moisturiser you're using, doesn't have high dose retinol or your alpha hydroxy acids, because it might be too strong.
Yeah, and you might cause yourself a little bit of irritation.
You might burn or irritate, and I don't know about other people, but I find that sunscreen's too close to my eyes, make my eyes water.
Yeah, I hate it.
Sting your eyes.
That annoys the crap out of me.
It annoys me too.
Yeah, so just some eye products with an SPF 15 is great.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, whatever moisturiser you're using on your face, it's going to do the same around the eyes. If you've got an eye concern, dark circles, puffiness, then those ingredients, or the ingredients that need to, I guess, correct those, are not going to be in your face moisturiser.
Yeah, okay.
And that's when you can look at an eye product.
And there's no point using like those ingredients all over the face if they're going to just affect this area.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, you'll find vitamin K is really good for dark circles. You might find that in your skincare. So if your moisturiser has vitamin K in it, then we'll take it under the eyes. Great.
Yeah.
It takes a while to correct dark circles because what we're dealing with is capillaries that are really close to the surface of the skin.
Yeah.
And what we're doing with the products is we're retracting those capillary wall away from the surface to give.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to keep it up.
Yeah. Okay, before we get on to serious stuff and in-depth sort of chats.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people try skincare for like a day or two and they'll be like, it's not working. And then they drop it or give it a bad review or something like that. Realistically, skincare, how long do you have to use it for before you can actually start seeing results?
Well, cell cycle is about 28 days in a young person, and it can go up to 8 weeks in an older person.
Yeah, that's why some products say use for 8 weeks.
Yeah, because you want to make sure. So what we're doing is when we start a new skincare or a new product even, when we start using that, so let's say today we all started using a new serum.
I will be. No.
We're all
Thanks, Darren.
we're all going to, it's going to take at least 4 weeks for it to get. So what we're doing today is we're going to put the product on our skin. It's going to penetrate into the dermis, the engine room, what do you want to call it? And it's going to start feeding our cells because our skin borns new cells every day, right? And they take that 4 to 8 weeks to get through to the top layer. So we start feeding the cells today. In 4 weeks' time, those cells will get to the top. That's where we're going to look our optimum from that serum.
So at least 4 weeks.
At least
minimum
4
4 weeks.
Okay. So don't trust the people like, I bought this last week and I don't like it.
No, and look, the thing is...
Unless it's a reaction or something.
Yeah, that's right. And we tend to not be very patient these days. And we're expecting such big things from our skincare. And even if the skincare brand can deliver on those claims... you still need to be patient and give it time to work. So unless you've had a reaction, there's no reason why you should stop using it, at least for... My ideal is always 8 weeks. Always 8 weeks. That's why I did the trial for 8 weeks.
Okay, good.
I would like to ask about natural and organic skincare. In this day and age, we have, you know, stuff you can buy off the shelf from like Garnier and L'Oreal and all that stuff. And then you've got some, high-end brands and active brands and stuff like that. And then you've got brands that claim to be natural or organic or food grade, like you want to...
Pumpkin puree on your face.
You can eat your moisturiser.
Not quite.
Not sure why you would want to do that.
But there's a lot of like raw and
and
organic.
Also, even like brands that you can buy at like Priceline and stuff. What is your opinion on brands like that?
Natural
and
skincare.
Is there a reason to choose one over the other?
The only time I ever think about, wanting to consider using a natural or organic product would be, it seems to be a trend when people are ill. If they've got cancer, they tend to move to that direction, or personal choice. So if you want a bit of a health...
it's a lifestyle
choice. Yeah, absolutely. But even in that realm, in that market, there's some good, well-formulated natural and organic products, and there's some real crap on the market. Now, again, what I would be looking at with those brands, which would probably have and utilise essential oils and things like that, is to make sure that it's the right essential oils, and ideally in lower doses, because essential oils really are more, aromatherapy. They're more for the mind, and you know what I mean?
They're more
they're an
like
irritation
external.
to the skin, aren't they?
Yes. So there are a number of essential oils that are skin irritants that you need to be careful of. But also a lot of brands that are moving away from synthetic fragrances are moving into the essential oils, but in very, very small amounts. Because they're quite
Can you
medicinal.
tell us some of the essential oils that you should probably really try to avoid in skincare?
Well, yes, but bear in mind, there were some studies done in the States on with essential oils on how the skin responded, basically.
Right.
And what they found with certain essential oils like lavender, clove, lemon, the citrusy ones, was that it can actually do damage to your collagen in your skin.
Right.
But so can drying alcohols.
Okay, yeah.
So we don't want to do that. However, those tests were done at 100%. So with skincare...
so super strong.
Yeah, so if you're using natural and organic oils, then perhaps watch out really, at what the degree or what percentage of the essential oils are actually being used. Maybe go for more plant oils as opposed to your essential oils. But is natural and organic better? Look, everything that's used in skincare comes from an organic source.
Yeah.
I mean, look, poison ivy doesn't mean it's good for you.
That's true. Yeah. But also, everything is a chemical.
That's right.
And people have this myth of bad chemicals, but everything is a chemical. And I've always had the sort of mindset of, okay, it's probably better to eat your pumpkin than put it on your face.
Yeah.
And generally, lab-formulated ingredients, they're done so because you can get the most effectiveness with the least damage. That's what I just assume with some of these sort of more clinical brands rather than just the organic or natural brands.
But also with some of the organic brands, the ingredients that are going in them, if you look closely at the packaging, it says derived from an organic source.
Yeah, that's right.
That still means it's going through the process of being chemically treated so that it can become a skincare ingredient. Isn't that true?
That's exactly how I would understand it. Because generally speaking, a lot of the ingredients, as I said before, come from an organic source. Yeah. It's
they don't take actual oats and stick it in your moisturiser.
It would go through some sort of process.
It has to go through a process.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the natural and organic brands that do use plant-based, I mean, there's an extraction process that goes on, a filtration process, because they want to get the concentrated part of that plant.
The essence of what is useful. Yeah.
To get the benefits from it. But look, I can't get out of my head a situation where 6 months after opening my store, a lady came into the clinic and said that she wanted a new skincare regime. And so I asked her quite a lot of questions, as I normally would, and she just burst into tears. And I said, what's the matter? And she said, I was always led to believe that natural products were better. But she said, look at me. She was quite wrinkled. She had a lot of pigmentation. And she started to show some degree of slackening skin. And I said to her, what have you what's wrong? What have you done? And she said, so I've only ever used natural and organic products. And she said, how old do you think I look? And I said, oh God, I don't like being asked that question.
Yeah, it's an awkward one, isn't it?
Honestly, she looked mid to late 30s, and she was 21. So I just that was a bit of a wake up call to me about people. Perhaps the thing that was missing was a sunscreen.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But we also know...
I suppose it's hard to know without actually knowing someone's full routine.
Exactly. And I didn't ask her brand, or she just said it was a natural organic brand. She'd been using it for several years.
And if she's upset, she probably doesn't
want to go. So my goal was to turn it around as best as I could, put her on the right path, and hopefully do some level of correction so she can feel confident in her skin. And, I know I achieved that because she's came back many times to replenish. But so I think it's about finding the right balance and making sure that whether you do natural, organic, or traditional cosmetics, it's about what products you're using and what you're doing to preserve. So I'll give you an example. Glycolic acid comes from sugarcane, right?
Yes.
The moment
it's natural.
Natural skincare.
But the moment you try and formulate with it, it loses all its effectiveness. So we have to use a synthetic version. Yeah. Now, I don't know if there are natural brands using the sugarcane version, but I'd be quite interested to see how effective it is. Because
that's another thing. Sorry to interrupt, but that's another thing. They tend to make these claims: we're using plant stem cells and this and this and this, but it's are they actually effective in the skincare? Like they might have these buzzwords that make you go, oh, that's actually going to work.
Yeah.
But whether or not it is effective, it comes down to studies and clinical
studies. Yeah, that's
studies.
right.
And once again, science.
Well, they're very expensive to do. That's why a lot of brands don't do clinical studies.
Yeah.
Because
I think
they
it should be mandatory, though, don't you think?
Well, it should be. If you're making claims, I think if you're making big claims like that, it should be mandatory.
If you're Cetaphil, calm down. Although they
probably
have done
still have claims.
clinical
And they probably still,
I think if you're making claims about repairing or reversing or something like that, I definitely think there should be some sort of control.
And I think in America they have the FDA, and in Australia it's TGA, and they tend to monitor advertising, but what they really do is they wait for something that becomes very popular. Yeah. So let's here's an example, and I love telling this story. Strivectin had their moisturiser, which was originally formulated for stretch marks, but apparently the story I heard was that they gave samples to all their staff, just said it's a moisturiser.
Yeah, and people started using it
on their face. They got
Yeah.
results from it.
Yeah.
But they were taken to court by the FDA because their claim was better than Botox.
Oh,
that's a big claim.
It's a very big claim because you can't replicate Botox in a skincare product.
No.
But what was interesting is all they did was add a question mark to the end and got away with it. So they changed it. I'm not sure if they got fined.
Better than Botox or
asking you
better
the question,
than
the
Botox?
consumer.
Is it better than Botox?
Yeah.
Try it.
So that's exactly, and so that's why I guess where I'm going with that is, as skincare companies, it's finding a way, because it's a saturated market. We've all heard it before.
Yeah.
So cut the bullshit.
Yeah.
Tell me what this product is going to do for my skin.
Yeah.
And in not a bullshit way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's hard to get.
Yeah.
They're full of bullshit.
And that's why they cross that line sometimes.
Yeah.
You only have to Google, skincare, TGA cases and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will come up.
I'm going to do that tonight.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be tonight's reading.
So
oh my God, this brand is in hot water.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
You read some, releases and descriptions of things. You're like,
fucking what?
Pull the other one.
Yeah, I know. Look, I find that I write my own, and look, that's not my forte at all. And the interesting thing with Glyco is because it's all about age prevention and correction. When you think about the concerns people have, lines and wrinkles, creases, pigmentation, loss of firmness. Yeah. There's the common scenario of the conditions that we tend to see as we age.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why not put all that in skincare? So we have different moisturisers that we have for different concerns, but also focusing on what the major one of those 5 are. So they all do an element of those 5 or
but
so.
But if you are more concerned about pigmentation, you have a specific
that
one.
That's the number one focus.
Yeah. Or if you're more concerned about fine lines...
Or sagginess.
That's right.
And so you've got a neck cream, don't you?
Yeah, look, that's an interesting one. Okay, because I have the same philosophy on eye creams and neck creams.
Right.
Yep.
You don't need
Take it down.
I
never understood. Yeah. Like, I've seen neck creams in store and I'm like, what is the point? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of understand eye cream because like you mentioned, the dark circles and how the capillaries are closer to the surface, the skin is thinner. So I can kind of see why there would be specific reasons to use like a dedicated eye cream.
Yeah.
But the neck...
Unless you've got loss of firmness.
Unless you've like gobble, calm down. And even then, cream's not going to fix it.
Well, with the gobble bit that you're talking about, that's when women tend to look for neck cream.
Yes, exactly.
So ages ago, women just thought it was part of the regimen to have their neck cream.
Yeah.
That whether they had neck issues or not. But that's not the case. We know now that whatever cleanser, moisturiser and serum, you take that from here to here.
Yeah.
That's for everyone.
All the way down.
All the way down to your chest. Because this is where women age.
Yeah. Yes.
I
see it on my mum and I noticed
it
on myself a few years ago. I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's really important to nurture this.
Do you think that's because it gets a lot of sun?
It does get a lot of sun, that's right. So it sort of hits here, the forehead, and, hands as well, gardening and driving. They're the areas that tend to show. premature aging first.
Right.
So in answer to your question is no, you don't need to use a specific neck cream if you don't have any neck concerns.
Okay.
But what the reason I brought out a neck cream is this area here loses a lot of elasticity.
Yes, and that's when you get that sagging under here.
That's right. So it's very almost impossible to really lift the skin, but we can firm it to a degree.
Can you take that cream to the face?
Well, it's quite heavy, so
just take it everywhere.
what we're
Lift us up. Yeah, that's what we need.
But you know what's really important though, Kat and Hayley, with application of products, and I do go into this a bit with my neck cream, it's, you do need to put some effort into it. So the cream is the step one of getting better results for your neck area. Step two is you actually doing the method.
Right,
Yeah, okay.
so there is a method to
You've got
applying
to, that's
it.
right, we're fighting gravity.
Yeah, so you've got to lift.
We've got to do the motions. So the cream is very emollient. It's designed, so it's got all the fantastic peptides and everything that I could put in there to help with that neck and chest area.
Right.
But the application and the density of the cream is to give you some...
like slip, so that it's
you
easy
can massage.
to do the
so
massage.
I normally explain to women, we want to go up to the corner of the ear, we want to hold it down, and we want to keep doing that until the cream's absorbed twice a day.
Okay.
But on our website, we do have before and afters of the neck cream after 28 days. So we're dealing... And I have to say this, women don't... A lot of it's a natural habit to spray fragrance here.
Yes.
Fragrance is alcohol. So
so don't do it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Where do we put it then?
On our clothes.
Everywhere else.
And
In your hair? In your hair?
I know a lot of people do. I do the hair thing. I don't know if
on the
I'm not a
parts that
hairdresser.
get warm.
Yeah, but
here
this gets
on the
warm and I
wrist.
can't do it.
know.
Okay, good,
Do it
okay.
between the boobs.
Yeah, but that ages too.
Look,
I don't have my boobs out as much.
Sunscreen. Yeah, I think, look, just don't get your girls out in the sun, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay. So, because I have heard that, like, the whole mass and how you apply, and that's, someone did actually ask that question, like, what's the best method of applying?
Apply.
Up is better.
Up.
So always bring it up. And gentle. We're
Gentle,
not trying
or-
to stretch
Yeah,
it.
no
Pulling.
hardcore pulling. We just want to do upward motions.
Yeah.
And do what's comfortable. Like, I think Clarins is one brand that really were great at the whole method, because when you used to buy a Clarins product, I don't know if they still do it, they used to have instructions.
They do. They've got little slips in there. It's
check.
like a booklet that
And
shows
most people
you
never
how
looked
to...
at it.
Yeah.
But that is really important.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can be doing,
Yeah.
but then you don't want to be spending an hour in the bathroom.
That's the problem,
Yeah.
isn't
You know,
it?
a lot of people use galvanic home devices.
Yeah.
People do skin needling at home.
Yeah.
People do this, that, the other. It's really get your skincare down pat first.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to the point where you'll see great results, and then it's about maintaining those results.
Yeah.
So then you might want to look for other things that you can do to elevate
Like
that
technique.
again.
Yeah.
Go and have a series of peels or treatments, or go and get a skin needling device or a galvanic, whatever. But there are lots of things you can do.
Yeah, so you can always level up.
I like taking the skin out of its comfort zone. You can do that with skincare products, and you can do that with devices. But I'm not saying go out and buy all these devices and spend thousands of dollars if you don't need them.
Yeah.
But, you know...
Especially if you're not going to use them.
Yeah.
That's right, that you don't want... It's like appliances for home. We go out and buy
You got
a
a carry
pancake
gun.
maker
Yeah.
and use it once, and
Yeah,
that's it.
I
We
know.
don't see it again.
Yeah. All right, let's get into retinol talk, because there's a lot of myths and stuff, and we've got information, and
I'm excited about this topic.
so I try to use them. I don't know much about them, and I know a lot of people are the same. Let's start with the basics.
Yes.
Tell us about retinol.
Right, so let's talk about vitamin A,
Yeah.
which entails retinol.
Yeah.
So the most common ingredients that we know of is that it's used in skincare, and there are lots of them, but the main ones that you may have heard of is retinol palmitate, retinol, okay, or retinoic acid. They're all retinoids.
Are they all vitamin A's?
They're all vitamin A's. That's right. They're all from the vitamin A family.
Yeah.
So if you think of retinoids as your surname,
Yeah.
and then all your relations underneath that have different names, but they're all part of, and they have different lifestyles, but they're all part of the Clark family or whatever. And the other thing that you need to remember, just no matter which one you use, they all convert to retinoic acid in the skin. It's how long that journey is to get to the end result.
Okay.
So something like retinol palmitate and retinol goes through a few more steps in the skin through the enzymatic process before it turns into retinoic acid,
Okay.
whereas the prescription vitamin A is basically retinoic acid. So
Instantly.
it's fast delivery systems,
Right.
fast
So
results.
what's the benefit of each?
Well, there's pros and cons to both. I look, over-the-counter products, we use retinol or retinol palmitate or other versions that are out now. They are what we are allowed to use legally. Retinol is stronger than retinol palmitate.
Yep.
And retinol is the pure form of vitamin A, the whole molecule.
Right. Okay. So that would be what you would consider prescription based.
No, because you can get it in over-the-counter.
Okay,
products.
all right,
It's
yeah.
the strongest over-the-counter form
Okay, right,
that you can get before going to your doctor or dermatologist and getting a prescription for prescription vitamin A. In Australia, it's probably known as Retrieve Cream that your doctor will give. In America, it tends to be Retin A or Renova.
Okay,
They're the brand names.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about Retin A because I was like, I know I've heard of that before.
Yep.
So that is actually a brand name.
Yeah, that's the brand name.
Which is a form of vitamin A.
So they're all using retinoic acid, which is your tretinoid.
Right.
So that's the ingredient they're all using. They're just the brand names.
Right. Okay. Yep.
It's like the Botox and the Dysport and the brands
that's right.
of...
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Now, so let's talk about which one should I use.
Yeah.
You'll probably find retinol palmitates used more often than we actually realise because it has other benefits in the actual skincare formulation other than the vitamin A benefits. But when we're looking for a vitamin A product, we tend to gravitate to retinol because it is stronger.
Yeah.
It's the strongest over-the-counter form. So in terms of results, at the end of the day, you're going to get the same results from either retinol palmitate and retinol as far as what it's designed to do, whether it's reduce wrinkles or acne.
But it will take longer. Right.
So for people that aren't aware of what retinol or vitamin A does, what does it actually do?
Yeah, so
and why do people use it?
Yeah, so vitamin A is the queen or king of skincare ingredients.
Yeah.
It's the one ingredient that has the most clinical data, the most dermatologist recommended ingredient, and it's just it's a phenomenal antioxidant. But it's great for aging and for acne. So always think of acne, aging.
Aging.
So it does those two things. It comes down to the end of the day, probably the formula. So my retinol product is aimed for the anti-aging market and the aging market. So the formulation that I've used in conjunction with the retinol is helping with those other elements of aging.
Right. So basically, other ingredients in it support anti-aging along with the retinol and making sure that the retinol product works best to assist with anti-aging.
That's right.
And then when it comes to products for acne, you would find other ingredients that are better for treating that.
That's right, Hayley. So the formulation would be different. And often you find, with acne as well, there may be other ingredients to help deal with the acne, not just the retinol itself.
So maybe some other acids or something like that?
I would probably say more possibly maybe anti-inflammatory ingredients in there.
Yeah.
We're obviously going to talk about the whole acids and retinol thing soon.
Yes.
But in the case of acne, I would say helping with inflammation, helping with bacteria,
soothing,
help dry
things
it
like
out.
that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so forth. So the formulations might be different in that regard.
Right.
But basically, if we look at the three, so with retinol palmitate, it's a blend of retinol and palmitic acid, which is a fatty acid.
Yep.
It's naturally found in our skin. It helps with, it actually helps with UV light in our skin.
Right.
But
so
we don't ever...
preventing us from being sunburned, or is it the photo aging?
It's more the
type
protection
thing?
that it does, but we never say, we'll just lie your laurels on.
Oh,
you still need a sunscreen,
especially in Australia.
But that's what it actually does. Exactly, that's what it does in the skin.
Right.
Being a mild strength vitamin A, there's normally no irritation.
Right.
So it's generally it's a broader market that of people that can use retinol palmitate.
Yeah.
It's definitely the weaker form, as I see it, and the most gentlest form of vitamin A. But if you're in your 20s, you probably don't need retinol. You know what I mean? You could use something with retinol palmitate. You're still delivering vitamin A into the skin. And
without like the high concentration.
Yeah.
And so that's a question that a lot of people had as well. Like, okay, so when should you start using retinol? And how do you... Is it best to build up to the concentration? And, you know, we've heard of the retinol uglies. Why does that occur?
All right, so when we're looking at... so when should you... when you start using skincare... You want to make sure it's an effective skincare range, and that includes vitamin A. The only time you should avoid vitamin A is when you're pregnant or breastfeeding. But, look, always ask your GP and your doctor, but you'll find that most people will be fine with retinol and retinol palmitate.
Right.
I know someone that used prescription vitamin A through the whole pregnancy, and they were fine. Their kid's 4. But we always want to urge on the side of caution.
And the reason for that is because vitamin A in high doses can cause birth defects.
That's right.
But it's mainly ingested, not topical.
That's right. With regards to the prescription vitamin A, I would definitely not touch that during pregnancy or breastfeeding. Because don't forget, what we put on our skin
goes
is absorbed
into our body.
to the body. And also salicylic acid is the other ingredient that we want to sort of be mindful of when pregnant, because it's a form of aspirin. But again, if you're using a spot stick, it's unlikely that it's going to get down to that level anyway. So
we're talking about high doses, aren't we?
We are talking about concentrated doses as well. And also, you're not using it all over your body. We're just talking the face. So, but, you know, just...
It's one of those things, if you are using it and you find yourself pregnant and you want to continue, speak to your doctor, basically.
Exactly. I was definitely speak to your doctor about it. Most doctors will probably be fine if you take the product into them and say, look, I've been using this night serum with retinol in it. Should I stop it now that I found out I'm pregnant? Some people don't even find out they're pregnant until months into it anyway. But, always check. And
check with your GP.
It's always better to be cautious.
But
the problem with prescription vitamin A, which is something that, you know, a lot of people say it is the only thing to use.
That's what I want to know.
So let's talk about that. So prescription vitamin A is the reason why it's on prescription. Because it's a drug, okay? So it is a very high dose of vitamin A, and that level of strength works very fast in the skin. So you'll find that most people 91 will develop sensitivity as they continue to use it. If you're someone that's got, it's great for, you know, lines, wrinkles, acne, sun damage, all that sort of stuff. If you've got or at that situation where you need to go to that next level, then absolutely go see your dermatologist or GP and get a script for Retrieve Cream and, you know, give it a go. But just introduce it slowly to the skin. So
that's where they say to use it every second night. For like 2 weeks and
build it up from there. My suggestion would be to start using it as a mask for 10 minutes a week. Take it off. Build it up to 20 minutes the next week, take it off, and then do once a week, leave it on. Most people, again, it comes down to that thing of, oh, I'm fine. Well, you will be fine. Give it 2 weeks.
And that's when you start to feel the itch or the uncomfortableness.
Or the flaking, the peeling that it does to the skin. So it works very fast at cellular turnover in the skin.
Right, and that's why we get that ugly.
The blotchiness, the irritation, that's right. Some people are fine with it. They can use it ongoing and not have any issues with it. But majority of people will become or develop some level of sensitivity with it. So that's the downside of it. If you're young and you don't have the concerns that we spoke about, I don't see any reason why you'd want to jump on board and use the strongest form of vitamin A on the market, because you've got nothing to then go to.
Because you don't need it.
For someone like myself, it's probably overkill, but for someone like my mum, it might be useful.
That's right. So your mum would benefit from it. I guess it depends if you've got any concerns going on. Like if you've got acne going on, you can just use the prescription vitamin A in that area to treat that concern. But whether you need to stay on it,
is another.
That's the thing. Like whenever I talk about using like a retinol serum, and I'm like, okay, I want it to work because it's expensive and I've spent money and I'm hoping for good results. I always, without doubt, will get someone in the comments saying, don't waste your money on that, go get a prescription because it's cheaper. And I understand that it is more effective, it's a high concentration, and it is cheaper, but is that overkill for most people? Like, do you agree with the just go get a prescription? Or do you agree that some over-the-counter serums or
are simply better
or as good or...
Yeah, so let's talk about that because that's really interesting because you'll find that the prescription vitamin A formulas are very mundane. You're buying the tretinoid, you're buying the vitamin A, which...
Like the one ingredient.
Yes, in often a very basic, mundane formula.
So it's not giving you anything else but that core ingredient.
Pretty much, that's right. And our skin needs a hell of a lot more. Okay, we need a variety of antioxidants in our skin. We need peptides. We need all sorts of hyaluronic acid. There's a lot of ingredients that our skin needs. Not just so. If you are using prescription vitamin A, my suggestion would be that you make sure that you offset that with some other great products. Maybe a really fabulous night cream. Let this absorb into the skin, and then put that on. Later on as your night cream, or bring in some beautiful oils to the skin to get those other nutrients that our skin needs. But I certainly, I would never say to a customer or a client that has good skin or they're managing their skin very well to go out and get something they don't need. I like to equate it, and this is, some people might see this as being a bit silly, but we've got a headache, we take Panadol. We're feeling the pain's increased, we go to, Nurofen. If you've got a mild headache, you're not going to go to the doctors and ask for Panadine Forte. It's going to knock you out, are you?
You're not going to go to emergency.
So you are seeing it as like the extreme.
This is the extreme of skincare. The reason why it's on prescription, it's a medicine, it's a drug. It works and it changes the molecular structure of the skin, which we can't do in over-the-counter products. So yes, it's going to do a lot of correction. It is the bee's knees. But don't use it just because.
Because I hear people that do. They're like, you may as well go the extreme that is cheaper because,
why not?
Why not? Why not? Let's just go there.
I would say, look, if you wanted to give it a try, try it. I mean, I've tried prescription vitamin A a couple of times. I can only do 2 weeks.
Okay.
After that, my skin becomes very itchy and I bleed a lot when I shave.
Right.
Now, bear in mind using it at night. But because it has that high cellular turnover and it's getting rid of all of those surface skin as well, everything becomes more susceptible to sun damage from the sun and irritating, and our skin becomes drier. So if you're not balancing it off effectively,
you can have some pretty shitty drawbacks.
For me it was just too strong.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, probably too strong for me
and
too.
And can I ask, mentioning that it is a very strong product and you can only use it for 2 weeks, is it something like if you go and get a prescription vitamin A and you do find that it's giving you troubles after a couple of weeks, even with like gradual building up use, is it something that you can use for a short time and then go off and still see benefits, or is it actually something that you do need to be on?
Generally speaking, if you're using it as a method or a product to correct something, for example, if we look at acne, so we clear the acne up, you can probably come off it. If it comes back, you can go back on it. If we're looking at an anti-aging perspective where we're dealing with sun damage and lines and wrinkles, if you stop using it,
the problem's going to come back.
It will eventually come back. So I like the analogy of you go to gym, you do 6 months of hard work.
You get a six-pack.
You get a 6-pack, if you're lucky, an 8-pack. And then you stop going. What's going to happen?
You go to McDonald's and you drink the wine and the cheese.
Hello, sister. It's rollback time.
You're fatty.
It's a keg.
And let's also not forget that you can only go so far. It then becomes a maintenance issue. And like I said to you before, I like changing it up and sort of pushing those barriers. Moves to change your serum. I like to change my moisturiser every season.
I actually love trying new skincare. I love it.
Isn't it good to if your skin sort of starts getting used to a product, it's sometimes good to wake it up by changing things.
That's what I do. Absolutely.
And I love it.
You can do that with different, because don't forget every formula has 20, 30, 40 different ingredients in there, and there's a lot of ingredients and your skin may not be used to from what you're using before. So it's a different experience for the skin.
Yeah, and that can like wake it up.
It could be formulated different. It could even have some similar ingredients, but the formulation's different.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's a different experience for the skin. So yeah, I like changing things. They say you change your shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as well.
I do all the time. Otherwise, my hair hates it.
So with cleansers, effectively we're cleaning the skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to change it up. It's up to you. I actually always have three. I have 3 cleansers on the go all the time because I choose my cleanser on how my skin feels.
Yeah.
If I need a deeper clean, I'll use the one with the salicylic acid in there. If I'm feeling dry and parched, I'll use the cream cleanser. But essentially, they're used to clean the skin and to prep it ready for the next step.
Yeah.
While we're talking about vitamin A's,
Yes.
we need to ask about using other products in conjunction with vitamin A's.
Yes.
So, Darren, is there anything else that you want to tell us about vitamin A? Vitamin A, I've got to get that right. Before we move on to our next topic.
Look, I think the key takeaway today is that vitamin A is an essential skincare ingredient that we should all be looking at using. Second thing is probably no need to go straight to the extreme. The extreme.
Yeah.
If you've not used vitamin A before, start with perhaps a retinol product, and
so start low
and build up from and build up from there. Absolutely. Also, one of the good things about vitamin A that I did mention before, it's cell communicating, and what we mean by that, and there are other ingredients that are cell communicating. But what we love about cell communicating ingredients is that when they penetrate the skin, they attach themselves to our cells as the cells move through the skin and feed them essential nutrients.
Right.
And ensure that they arrive to the top, so through that cycle they're nice, rump and plump round, and they get to the top and then they level out and sort of fall off. And it keeps everything in this skin moving.
So it's super important.
So it's like a well-fed cell rather than a slightly malnourished cell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So when I'm putting my serum on tonight, I'm going to be like, you're doing the right thing. Even though you might
Come
not
on, little
see it,
cells.
you're doing a good thing.
Come on,
Exactly.
little cells.
Yeah. So as I said, it increases cellular turnover, and it's really good for increasing collagen, elastin, collagen production, and supporting elastin in the skin,
which is something that our bodies stop doing
it slows
as
down.
well. Yeah.
Everything slows down,
and that's pretty much where we start to get like fine
lines.
lines and the sagging and stuff like that.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
So that's pretty much.
Yeah, and we were talking before as well when we were having breakfast. A few questions were from people in their early 20s or mid-20s, not sure whether or not they could use retinol products in their skincare routine because would their skin get used to it and not see the benefits when they actually need it. But you were saying before that won't happen.
Look, as I said to you, I think that the thing is if you start with a retinol product, so we're starting mid-range retinol or the strongest over-the-counter form, you can change things up. You can try different formulations, or you can go to prescription if you need that. But the thing is, it's all about prevention. If we're doing the right thing and using the right products that are packed with antioxidants and protecting our skin from UV damage, hopefully we don't need to go to the doctors and get a prescription.
And if you have great skin because you have been using retinol products, then it's just about maintaining it as you get old. And if you need to, get your skin used to something else, you just swap to a different type. Play around, see what works. But if you won't lose the effects from being used to it. You get
to the point where it's maintaining those results. I mean, if things continue to work, what is the end result? Do you know what I mean?
Baby skin.
Well, I think it's also, and I can't remember if we either mentioned this in the video or if it was before we started filming, but I think it's very important to point out that you can't actually stop yourself from aging. You can use retinols or vitamin A until the cows come home, but at the end of the day, we're still going to age.
It's just about how
we
long
slow
you
it down.
Can prevent it.
So I think that's the important part. I think if you're using a retinol in your 20s and then you get to your 40s and you're like, oh, why do I have fine lines? It's because you're 40. It's not because retinol stopped working.
Exactly right.
We're not going. We can't stop the aging process. That's exactly right.
Acids. I heard that using an acid over a vitamin A or vice versa completely negates the effect, and you may as well have put nothing on your face. Is that true?
No. So let's be clear about, let's talk about the differences first. A lot of people confuse vitamin A because it has that fast cellular turnover. It sort of sloughs off the dead skin cells. They confuse vitamin A as an exfoliant. And I've read online, even dermatologist pages, where they've referred to it as an exfoliant. It is an antioxidant.
Okay.
Okay.
They're completely different.
It's not an exfoliant. If you decide to use a leave-on acid, such as glycolic acid, as long as in my opinion, you should always let acids dry first before you go to the next step.
Yeah.
There is no evidence, clinical evidence, to say
that
it's going to. No, perhaps in a formula it won't work. To put retinol and glycolic into one product may not necessarily work. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. But in terms of layering and exfoliating and then putting on your vitamin A, no. In fact, it's probably better because the acids are dissolving the dead skin.
So
it's creating clearer pathways for the product to penetrate the skin. So I would say no. There's no data to suggest that they don't work together.
Right.
Are there any ingredients that do negate each other? Because that's another question that a lot of people had, and even Simon wanted to know more. Like, it's a topic of conversation at the moment. If you're into skincare, what ingredients shouldn't be mixed? Because people are having these extensive 10-step routines, and people are worried that this will negate that, or minimize the effects.
Well, people are saying hyaluronic acid and vitamin C shouldn't be used together because it's
something.
Do you know, there's a lot of talk and discussions on opinions out there. I tell you one thing from a formula point of view, there are definitely ingredients that don't work together, so we then try and look for alternatives. So if we're putting an ingredient in there to stabilise something or to do X, Y, Z, and then it takes away the effectiveness of the active ingredient, we look for an alternative. So for an example, I've just reformulated my night cream and I've had to take out alpha-lipoic acid because there's consumer demands, they don't want synthetic fragrances, so we're switching over. For that reason, in order to put the natural scent in there, the plant extract scent, it affected the alpha-lipoic acid, so we decided to take that out, but we are up to some others ingredients to counteract that. So in a formula, yes, there are certain ingredients that do not work together, but one would assume as a consumer that when you're buying a product that it's been formulated well.
It's stable.
And it's stable. That's right. So then when it comes to layering products, my belief is that if you allow the product to absorb and sink into the skin, then you shouldn't have any problem. I don't see why an ingredient wouldn't work.
And what about, a few questions were about if you use an acid product, do you have to neutralise the acid after putting the acid on?
Most acid products will stop working when they're dry. So while they're wet, they're effective. They're doing what they need to do, and then they dry. And you can always, I don't necessarily want you to go home and test this, but I've seen situations where people have put a glycolic product on just before going to bed and not letting it dry, and they've slept on one side and then woken up with a burn mark where it's creased, where their neck is creased.
Oh, because it stayed wet.
It kept working, but it didn't dry.
Interesting.
So, yes, you do need to allow them to dry. When they dry, then they've stopped
they've
doing what they need to do. They're self-neutralising.
So you don't need to put something
over the top
to neutralise it because it's done it itself
once it's dry.
Once it's dry.
There are professional products where we do have neutralisers as part of the pill process, but for home care,
you wouldn't find them in your standard glycolic acid toner.
They would generally be if you're meant to use a neutraliser, they would provide it.
Come with it, and it would tell you how to use it in the steps.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I guess there was another question about manual exfoliants, or physical exfoliants, which are scrubs and things, and chemical exfoliants, and what's the difference? And I do remember reading someone mentioning that they were a bit scared to use chemical exfoliants because they didn't understand how they work, they didn't know what to expect. And I suppose at the end of the day, the takeaway from that is chemical exfoliants will stop working when they're dry.
Or when you...
And
also the point is that if you're buying it over the counter, it's going to be safe.
Yes.
within
Formula,
the formula is going to be safe. It's been
Yeah.
formulated not to cause you damage.
That's right. So so I guess the main difference between the two is a physical exfoliator, such as a scrub, is going to work on the surface of the skin.
Yes.
It's superficial, right?
Yeah.
So it's just going to
Get
take
rid
off
of
those
dead
dead
skin
skin
cells.
cells.
That's on the
etc.
top.
That's on the surface.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas a chemical exfoliant is actually going to dissolve the dead skin cells. It's going to penetrate. They have a low, for example, glycolic has a low molecular structure or molecular weight, so it
can penetrate
the
better.
skin quite rapid, and that causes that biting sensation.
Yes,
That a lot of people are scared of.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
And it's when the glycolic penetrates the skin, it's the afterwork that it does behind the scenes that is the amazing part of it. So whereas scrub will last, the effects will last 3
And
to
it makes your
5
skin
days.
feel nice and soft and lovely and smooth.
Yeah, because you're buffing off the dead skin cells with a physical granular whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas glycolic acid, when it gets into the skin, it continues to work. So there are a lot of benefits to glycolic. It helps brighten the skin. It helps with pigmentation, sun damage.
I imagine it would help with like blackheads.
It does help with breakouts. It will help definitely.
Yeah.
I prefer salicylic acid, which is your BHA for blemishes.
All right.
Because BHA actually gets inside pores and cleans them out.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Can you use a glycolic and a BHA? So it's AHA and BHA.
Yep.
So glycolic is AHA,
Yep.
salicylic is BHA.
Correct.
Can you use them both at the same time?
Yes, you can.
Oh, good.
That along with a retinol, problem solved.
Yeah.
The
So-
end.
And a vitamin C and sunscreen.
yeah.
Well, actually, they're pretty much the key,
key.
and a vitamin
yeah.
B. So niacinamide.
Yeah. And that's coming out with a lot of
niacinamide is
things
massive
these
at
days.
the moment.
Yeah. So look, there's lots of it seems to never end.
Yeah.
One person will say one thing, one person will say another thing, but always go back to clinical studies.
Yeah.
And if there ain't none, then what works for you works for you. Like I said this morning. Your skin can't talk to you.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't like something, it's going to
It'll
tell you.
tell
It will
you.
show you.
Yeah.
It will either feel uncomfortable or it will look. But don't get confused with glycolic or retinol causing that discomfort.
Yeah.
They're actually doing,
The job that they're meant to
they're
do.
very active ingredients.
But
they're
your
designed.
skin is also going through the process of going, big changes.
Yeah. So if you're not using a retinol or a glycolic product and
Yeah.
you're seeing blotchiness,
Yeah.
bumps under the skin,
Something's wrong.
your skin doesn't like that
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
So I'd switch up.
And it could
Yeah.
be an ingredient or just the formulation.
It could be, yeah,
Or
and
getting
look-
used to something.
And the elimination process is always...
Yeah.
So if you've gone out and bought a whole range of skincare,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then 3 or 5 days later, whenever you start to develop problems that
You don't know what it is.
you go through the elimination process. So
Yeah.
what that means is you go back to maybe just using the cleanser
Yeah.
for a week, and then introduce the serum, and then you do it like that.
Yeah.
To
And
try
see-
and find what
yeah.
the culprit is.
Yeah.
So, like, if you, I do tend to break out from some products, like whether it be a sunscreen or a foundation that doesn't work for me. You sort of, if you're getting that but you're not sure where it is, you can also just take out the products that you suspect.
Yep.
And then, slowly introduce one at a time so you can isolate what's causing the
I
issue.
do something a little bit different. I like to, when I'm getting low on a product, I like to bring in something new. So
Yeah.
I might be changing up my moisturiser or getting ready to, and I'll
Yep.
bring in a new moisturiser. If the moisturiser breaks me out, or I think it's a moisturiser, I'll stop using it, go back to
back to your old one.
basics.
Yeah.
Go back to what I was using.
That's right.
If it clears up, you pretty much know what
Yeah.
the culprit is.
And that's good doing it that way, because when I've told people to go back to what they were doing before and introduce one of the new products, if you've finished everything off,
You have to buy-
You're not going to want to go out and buy it all again
And
when
that's-
you've just spent a
That
fortune.
is actually why I do it that way.
Yeah.
Because I know I've still got like maybe another month or two
Yep.
of that product left.
That's
I
good.
can go back to it. But if the other product isn't problematic,
Yeah.
you just rotate them.
Let's get on to sunscreen,
Yeah.
Let's
which
do
is
it,
also
'cause
very
that
important.
is very
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
Yes. So can you talk us through the different SPFs or the sun protection factor,
Yes.
which is what SPF stands for,
Yep.
of the different sunscreens that are available in Australia. Now, there are some different levels in other parts of the world,
Yep.
but we're in Australia, so we've got to work with what we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are highly regulated in a lot
They
of countries,
are,
and I think
yes.
Australia in particular is extremely... It's
Yeah.
very expensive
Yeah.
to get a product SPF approved by the
Yes.
CGA.
Because
Because
they need
they-
to go and investigate the
testing.
the
Yeah.
testing and where it's made.
They
and they have to do all
take
their,
it really...
They
Well,
want-
they have to.
This
they have
is
to.
serious business in Australia because skin cancer is it's problematic
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's huge.
The damage that we get from our sun is intense.
Mm-hmm.
So when brands are selling or making an SPF product, they take it serious. You cannot market
yeah.
or claim a product as offering sun protection unless it actually does what it states.
But
30,
that's
50.
only with sunscreen
Yes,
products.
yes.
With foundations that say, SPF
Or
of
15,
10.
you don't need for 15.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
need it.
So I guess an example is with my sunscreen is it is actually FDA approved 30.
Yeah.
I've labelled it as an S15 because it doesn't need to go through that process.
Which
Yes.
is very
Yeah.
costly.
It's costly, that's
Yeah.
right. So perhaps down the track I will, but then I can endorse it with the 30 and put
Yeah.
the license number
Yes.
on there.
Yeah.
So for a 15 we don't.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and your product is a daily moisturizer.
That's right.
With
Yeah.
SPF.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we also to use the SPF 15, we also have to market it as being primarily a moisturizer.
Yes.
As
Because
opposed
if
to
it's
a
a sun
sunscreen.
protection, yeah, that's when
right.
you need
It's
to have
a
the testing.
moisturizer with some sun protection,
in it.
Correct.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So, can you tell us about the different types and what they mean?
Yeah, so in Australia, the most popular ones that we see are 15, 30 and 50. And 50 is only a few years old.
Yes, it's quite
3
new.
or 4 years old.
Yeah.
So basically, the difference between the strengths or what the numbers actually mean is whatever your natural burn time is. So if you naturally burn in the sun for it takes 10 minutes, then SPF 15 will protect your skin 15 times your natural
Yeah.
burn time of 10 minutes.
But that's under ideal circumstances, though. You have to put enough on. You need to reapply.
Correct.
Because once you've put it on, it starts to degrade.
Well, yeah, your
Or
body's
wear off.
your
Yeah.
body's producing oils all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and you're
Starts to
touching your
break
face.
it down, and yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can't just put it on and then expect that SPF
It protects
50,
you all day.
It's gonna keep me protected for hours and hours
Well,
and
it will
hours.
be 50 times your burn time.
Yeah.
But in order to maintain that
Yeah.
absolute cover, so we're talking about the filtration from the UV.
Yes.
So UVA is the aging,
Yeah.
UVB is the burning. Now, to remain effective for that period of time, you're right, Kat, you need to reapply, and that's why it's on the label.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always say to people, look, you've got to find that right happy medium because we do need vitamin D, and there is
Yeah.
now people deficient in vitamin D in Australia. So now we're supplementing D with tablets.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people work from home, and if all you're doing is driving down the road to drop your kids off in the morning and then in the afternoon and putting washing on the line or whatever, do you really need to be putting on sunscreen?
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't bother.
That's also depending on your skin. Like if you're very fair and prone to burning, yes. Otherwise, if you do have
If you're
other
like me
complexions,
and you don't burn easily, you
probably need the vitamin D more
Yeah.
than you need the sun protection.
But
Yeah.
also on that note, if you're using high strength retinol or
Yes.
retinol prescription
Yes.
vitamin A or even glycolic products,
Yeah.
you don't want to get any sun because that's going to accelerate the aging process.
Yeah.
So
it does really depend on your situation and your skin type
That's exactly
and your routine.
right. Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Okay.
right. You
Yeah.
need to
Right.
be smart about
Yeah.
what you're using and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because none of us want to age earlier than
No.
you have to.
No.
That's
So-
not what we choose to do. That's
Yeah.
not that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolute opposite of what we're talking about today.
Yes,
But-
absolutely.
Exactly. And the other thing that to bear in mind, going back on the UV filtration
Yeah.
thing is, so SPF 15 blocks out around 93% of the UV rays.
Yeah.
Now, when we go to 30 and 50, we're talking 97% on a 30 and roughly, and 98% on a 50.
Yeah.
Yet it takes a lot of
Mm.
more ingredients to get to a 50 than a 30.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you're getting more protection.
So you're getting longer protection,
Correct.
but not quite as much filtering as you might expect.
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess the mentality is when you see a 50...
You're like, all the protection.
Yeah.
But
And it's not. I mean, 98% is still pretty good.
It's very high, yeah.
But you would think that perhaps the 30 would be more around 95 or
Yeah,
less.
Yeah.
Or
1%
perhaps,
difference
it's
is
not
surprising.
it's minimal.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I find that 50s are a lot of the formulations that I've tried are too heavy for me.
Yeah, a lot of them are. So you're saying that use SPF depending on your situation. If you're going to be at home, you probably don't need it.
Yeah.
What do you think about screens and damage from screens?
Yes.
Would you say use at least some SPF at home
Yeah,
because of
well,
light?
Most people find that an SPF 15 on their skin is comfortable.
Yeah.
And most people will find that it's probably in their foundation or their powder.
Yeah.
So you're getting some protection, I guess. So if you are sitting in front of a computer screen that emits HEV light, which is the blue light, that is now a big topic of conversation in the universities about the fact that it's proven that, well, it's not clinically proven, but it's looking...
Data to suggest.
There's data to suggest that HEV light is a major contributing factor to premature aging.
Yeah.
And we're doing this all the time. We're on the phones,
you're
on the
in
computer.
bed and you're doing these
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Dropping your phone on your face.
So there's an element of aging going on. I find that sunscreens that are chemical...
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that.
That's
Chemical
what we
versus
need to
physical.
get into.
Because when we talk about skincare, let's not talk about like non-sunscreen skincare.
Yeah.
It's chemically formulated,
Yeah.
right? So if we use chemical sunscreens, it feels like every other ingredient in the skincare.
So it feels light, it feels
normal.
comfortable.
It's comfortable on the skin and so forth.
Usually not heavy and thick and...
Your physical sunscreens, so mainly titanium and zinc oxide, they're the whitish ones that
The
tend
ones
to...
that reflect the light.
They reflect light. Yeah, so I always, when I sort of think about the two, undoubtedly, and I don't know necessarily how the ratings go with TGA and the FDA when they get to a 30 or 50 between the chemical and the physical, but undoubtedly the physical is the best option if you're going to intentionally lay in the sun.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
So they're the thick white ones, but if you're going to go to the beach, are the best
blocks
ones.
it. It blocks it from touching your skin at all.
Yeah.
It pushes it away.
And
whereas the chemical ones
absorb
it
into the skin and create that protection, but it's not the blanket effect that we get with the physical.
Right.
Also, just random for makeup lovers, the physical is the one that in flash photography you get the white face.
Correct. Yeah.
So
flashback
the reflection.
The reflection.
Yes, that's exactly right.
So which one do you recommend? So you're saying physical if you're going out in the sun and maybe chemical on a daily basis? Is that what you're saying because it's more comfortable?
Look, if you want the personal opinion, I go with comfort.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I find that... So zinc oxide's great. It's also used in skincare products because it's great at soothing and reducing inflammation in the skin. But some people find that more so with titanium dioxide, it can make the skin a bit itchy.
Okay.
I find on a daily basis, the physical sunscreens, they're not comfortable.
Yeah, they're not comfortable.
So I don't tend to go for those ones on a daily basis. If you can tolerate them and you're fine, bear in mind there's so many different formulations of variety, then stick with, go physical.
Yeah.
Physical is ultimately
the best.
The best, in my opinion.
Okay.
I have a physical one because with mine, it's more what people want. People tend to prefer the physical protection over the chemical protection.
Yeah. So physical's better. But if you can't tolerate physical and you can't find a formula that you can tolerate...
Chemical is better than nothing.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that's
a fair take home.
Excellent.
And so we're talking about, sunscreen at the beach. We're talking about at home. What about in winter?
Oh, absolutely. We need sunscreen because, it's like, people that go to, skiing on holidays in winter.
Yeah, they get sunburnt.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, absolutely.
But you also find that with the clouds, it's like a lot of UVA comes in and that's where you can do a lot of aging and not realise it.
That's right. So the UV rays are still very prominent in winter all year round. We just associate sunscreens with summer because we feel the heat and we see the brightness.
And you get sunburn and and you're like, oh, this is a danger time.
Look, it's all about being sensible. As I said to you, on a day-to-day basis, depending on what your job is, if you're a rep and you're on the road all the time, I read an article years ago, and I like these little articles that sort of bit like a wake-up call thing. But this lady was a corporate woman who travelled on planes every day, Monday to Friday, and she always had a window seat specifically. I think it was the left side.
Yeah.
She ended up getting skin cancer on that side years and years later.
Yeah.
And she couldn't work out initially why, or but she was in her 40s. But that just goes to show you an example where she didn't. SPS weren't that prominent back in those days, and where it has made an effect.
But she wasn't lying on the beach, so you can kind of go, where's it come from? But it does happen.
And she was always on the red eye, so she was always on the flight early in the morning when the sun's
coming up
at some point during the flight or whatever. But there's an example of sun damage and skin cancer. And I guess the other thing about being sensible with sunscreens is also having an understanding that if your moisturiser is a 30 and your makeup is a 15, it doesn't mean it's 45.
Yeah, because a lot of people do think that.
It's always the higher of the two.
They think it's cumulative. Okay, so it's the higher of the two.
It's definitely not cumulative. All right, I think we should work on wrapping this up.
Yeah.
And before we wrap it up, I think we need to talk about some basic routines for people of certain ages.
Yep.
So let's say you have a teenager who is starting to show some signs of breakouts, and you want to help your young child into
teenager
into their first skincare routine.
Yep.
What would you recommend?
Okay, keep it bactic to start with. Most important thing is to cleanse twice a day. We want to get rid of that bacteria that causes it spreads, the bacteria spreads, and therefore you end up with more breakouts and so forth. So an effective cleanser that's non-drying, and a spot treatment or a product that's got with salicylic acid, ideally, that's going to help dry up and treat the blemishes, and then a lightweight moisturiser, especially with sunscreen during the day.
Okay, great.
Easy.
And what about people who are in their 20s?
So starting to ramp it up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
or
mindful.
Possibly starting.
Or possibly starting.
Some people
they didn't
don't.
have skincare problems when they were teenagers. But mindful of a lot of people in their early 20s are often students. Or have low income jobs. What's a good thing to start?
Oh, look, I definitely believe that serums should be introduced at an early stage, and they truly are forgotten. A lot of people don't use serums. They rely on their moisturiser to do everything for them. And, we're talking about just the epidermis, the outer layer of the skin here, that is predominantly where the moisturiser is working. What we want to do is get down deeper into the skin, to the dermis, where everything goes on, everything happens, and we want to nourish that and correct and do all those lovely things. So in a younger person, I would definitely cleanse, serum, and it could potentially just be one serum they could use twice a day.
Maybe a hydrating serum.
Hydrating if their skin's dry or dehydrated.
Maybe an antioxidant one if they're just normal skin.
And perhaps if they've got issues with problematic skin, a clarifying serum or something like that. And then just your moisturiser. What's really important is that with exfoliating the skin, when we're younger, our skin's working its magic. Everything is like a brand new car.
I know. Aren't they lovely?
Just smooth.
I know.
It just gets you from A to B in style. But then things start to go, the wheel falls off. Whatever. Casket blows.
Need an oil change.
The warranty's died. So we need to step things up. So if we're going to now go into our 30s, now bear in mind, age should not be a dictation of the products that you necessarily use. Because Hayley, your concerns could be very different to Kat's concerns. So if someone's in their 20s and they've got early or premature aging coming on, I wouldn't hesitate giving them a retinol serum.
You
know what I mean? Because they need that now.
So don't worry about your age.
Don't worry about your age.
Worry about your concerns.
Worry about your concerns and doing things that are going to help prevent the aging process. Exfoliants are really important, I would say, sort of mid-20s onwards. I mean, you should use an exfoliant even in your teenage and 20s. A granular scrub. Maybe once a week or something. But when you start to get in your 25s and above, we need to start looking at more regular exfoliation. And remember, as we age, our skin becomes thinner as well. So I tend to suggest people when they sort of get into their 40s and so forth, to definitely pull away from the physical scrubs and go more to your chemical.
So if you do know that you have thin, or if your skin is thinning, it's better to go to the chemicals.
Yeah, but also if you are noticing your skin is thinning, you might want to be careful with how often you use these exfoliants as well, because you're treading thin water when you're dealing with thin skin, because that skin is very delicate. So I'm more leaning towards supporting that skin with antioxidants and other oils and nutrients to sort of bring some density back into the skin.
Right.
Exfoliating it could be potentially making the situation worse. So it really needs to be. I'd want to see that skin.
Before you make a
But
judgment
in general,
call.
because everything does slow down as we age, our skin does become thinner as we age. So, chemical exfoliants are better for mature skin.
Okay.
All right.
And anything else add in if you're... So we've covered serums, so cleansers, moisturisers, sunscreens at all ages. And then you've got the physical and chemical exfoliants. Anything else? So you'd say retinol's around 30s or late 20s,
unless you're showing signs of early aging.
Yeah, I'd say based on what concerns you have. So you could be in your 20s and your career could involve spending a lot of time outside. So I'd be inclined to say, right, well, okay, sunscreens, is non-negotiable. I would definitely look at some intense anti-aging evening products, serum and a cream, and if that means bringing in a retinol, then that's absolutely fine, and then go from there. But it's not necessarily an age thing.
So last thing before we go, can you tell us when we look at those routines that we just talked about, if you have oily skin or dry skin, how would they change slightly?
Well, I'd be first of all looking at the formulations, because if you've got an oilier skin, your main concern is sort of balancing that out. You don't want to make the situation worse. So we're looking at lighter formulations. We certainly want to be exfoliating regularly, definitely cleansing our skin twice a day to get rid of that bacteria in the skin, keeping it simple. The serum you choose is really going to come down to whether you've got an acne oily skin or just an overabundant production of oil. The reason why it's important to use a moisturiser, and it could even be your moisturiser could be just a really good vitamin B serum. You know what I mean?
Or would you say maybe an oil or even like a gel?
Gels, people with oily skin tend to prefer gel-based products because they've had this fear of they're putting more oil on their skin, which is not, well, they are, but it's not necessarily going to make the situation worse. It does come down again to the formula of the product.
Right. So make sure that the gel doesn't contain high amounts of alcohol and stuff like that.
You don't want to dry the skin out. And the reason why you should use a moisturiser, even if it's a lightweight one, is because if you don't moisturise, or if you do exfoliate regularly or too often, and you're not replenishing the skin with moisture, your sebaceous glands will start to overproduce oil.
And you're just going to create more oil.
Because it's compensating. But when you start using a moisturiser, you're like, oh, I can't use moisturiser because it makes my skin so greasy. Well, no, it hasn't. Your skin's still producing oil at a rate of knots because it's been deprived of. It's going to take a few weeks for it to balance back out again. So don't stop using moisturisers if you're oily. Keep everything simple. Look probably for more gel formulas and definitely light formulas. And if you've got a more drier skin, you're going to be looking for ingredients and richer that provide more replenishment to the skin. So, lipids, ceramides.
I've heard ceramides are fantastic for rehydration.
They are, absolutely, and repairing. And they're a great, anti-aging ingredient as well as ceramides. So they're good at strengthening the skin. And on that note, with my retinol, most people are used to retinol serums being very liquidy form, where mine's more of an oil base.
And we love it.
I love that. That's great.
I
haven't tried a retinol in an oil base, but it works
I love
really well.
it.
So with my retinol, for example, and being aware that people can develop sensitivity to retinol, mine's got glyco and phospholipids in there, which is ceramides. So they help replenish the skin with hydration and nourishment, and to diffuse some of that, the aggressiveness of how the retinol works in the skin. So it's definitely great for a normal to drier skin type, or those that traditionally can't use retinol products.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good.
so it's quite different.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Darren.
You're welcome. Thanks for
We're
having me.
so happy to have you.
I've got gifting.
Oh!
Goodie bag.
Oh my god, these are great
I
goodie
love,
bags.
All right. I see it.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
So that one. Now, just so you both know, that cleanser is the new formula.
Ooh.
It's not online yet, but I've upped the ante with some of the ingredients to get makeup
Yeah.
off better as well.
Right,
Oh, awesome.
okay. I've used
And
that.
this is the
peptide,
retinol booster.
That's the retinol.
It's good shit.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
And there's 2 samples in there of the glycolic
Awesome.
night creams.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
I'm so keen to
spoiled.
go home and take my makeup
I
off.
know. I can't wait. I'm going to take my makeup off right now.
Yeah, thank you, Darren. That's
Thank
Oh,
you.
great.
you're welcome.
Yeah,
That's
but
so sweet.
we do recommend checking out his brand. This is not about his brand.
No,
This is
no.
just that we love having chats with him.
But we're
and
still going to plug him.
because we actually like
that's,
his product.
That's what we do when we like people.
Well, yeah, when we like people, we're like, come on the channel,
Yeah.
let's talk about shit. And if you do want to check out his site, and it ships internationally, doesn't it?
Yeah, we do ship
Yep.
overseas to most countries.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And-
It'll be linked down below. So.
And I will organise the giveaway.
Yes! Oh my God! Reminder, guys, we're doing a giveaway.
Yeah.
So that will be up on Instagram. Details will be down in the description box. Basically, just make sure you're following our account. You're following Glyco, Darren's account, and tag a friend.
Yep.
Simple.
Yep.
Um,
Internationally open?
Yep.
yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, we've
Yep.
done it
So
for
there you
guys.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
If you
For
want-
everyone who missed out last time.
Yeah.
This
If you want
one's
some,
for you.
if you want some good skincare,
Yeah,
I recommend
Yeah.
entering that one. Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank
Thank you
you,
very much for
Darren.
having me. Thanks.
It's been a big chat, but it's been a
Bye,
good one.
guys.
And we didn't get around to answering everything.
We
but
didn't.
If
We
we
might
need to
have
get
to
him
come back.
Yeah, well, we'll do another one.
We'll do
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
We'll do another one. All right.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and shout down in the comments section. Tell us your feels,
Yep.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.